We need to dismantle the MPAA, the Motion Pictures Association of America. They're so stupid. Movies don't need to be rated. Any movie you want to see, you should be able to view. Hello everyone, and welcome to yet another General Cadaver video. Today's video, just like the last video, is going to be pretty simple. We're just going to be rating and reviewing all of the movies that I watched in February of 2025. I'm splitting them up, into months because I did a review of all the movies that I watched in 2024, and that movie ended up being 2 hours long. I'll put that movie in the cards. I'll put that movie in the cards in case you guys want to check that out. I've already done one for January, and this is going to be for February. I've got the camo pants and the black and red outfit. I thought it looked nice. Before we start the video, please check out my description box and like the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Everything should be Juicebox for Vamps or General Cadaver. Without any further ado, let's get into all the movies that I watched in February. So I'm going to start with the least interesting movie and work my way to the most interesting movie. This month's review is also going to include all of the rewatches, all of the movies that I've seen before or seen a million times that I rewatched. So I'm going to include those in this month and probably next month too. Oh yeah, before we get into the video, also I have to show you, I painted my nails like little fish. I'm not a nail person, I'm just an artist. I should have used a thinner brush for the red, but yeah, I have these really cute fish nails. I love fish. Being a Pisces, I've always been obsessed with the ocean. So, I did that last night. It took a long time, but they ended up looking really cute, and I like them a lot, so. Getting into the number 18 movie spot, because I did watch 18 movies in February. I thought I watched more, but I counted and it was only 18. Number 18 is a movie called Villains. This movie came out in 2019. This movie stars, I believe, Bill Skarsgård and Micah Monroe. She's from It Follows and Longlegs. I really like both of those actors. I hated this movie. I gave it 2 stars on Letterboxd. Oh yeah, follow me on Letterboxd. Probably General Cadaver, Juicebox for Vamps. Yeah, this movie stars Bill Skarsgård and Micah Monroe. I just didn't like this movie. Oh, it also has Walton Goggins. I like him a lot. He's a really good actor. The older lady is a good actor too. All the actors in this movie are really good, but I just didn't like the movie. I didn't like the premise. It was kind of just slow. I heard that it was good, so I watched it. I did go into it kind of blind. I read the description. I wasn't very entertained. I don't think I would rewatch this again. Maybe I would rewatch it with somebody who likes the movie or can explain the movie more to me. I just didn't really enjoy it. The old lady and the Walton Goggins character, they want to have a kid, I think, but the old lady wants to screw a young guy for some reason. I can't really honestly remember what the hell was going on in the premise, but it was just a crazy premise, and it just wasn't that entertaining to me. So yeah, that Villains goes the number 18 spot. Probably wouldn't rewatch, and I just didn't enjoy. Number 17 is a movie called Willy's Wonderland. This movie stars Nicolas Cage, and I did kind of enjoy this movie, but it was honestly just really boring. He never talks throughout the whole movie, and the animatronics aren't really that scary because he just goes and beats the shit out of them. So as long as you can, I guess, fight and defend yourself, you really have no threat against these machine things. I think it is people say it's a knockoff of Five Nights at Freddy's, but I've never played that game. I've never been interested. It always just seemed confusing, and I've just never understood. I don't know. I've just never understood the hype around it. I've never played it, never seen anything about it. But this movie was entertaining, with not having seen that premise, because I do like the premise, haunted animatronics or evil animatronics, especially attacking children, that is scary, especially if you're a child. It just wasn't as entertaining as I thought. I do love Nicolas Cage, though. I usually love everything that he's in. This one just wasn't really entertaining. I just didn't really like this one. I did give it 2.5 stars, because it is entertaining to some degree, although the pace is a little slow. I liked seeing Nicolas Cage just clean up and not talk to people when they talk to him. I mean, that's great. Like, seeing him fight the animatronics is really, really nice, but there's not really high stakes, and it's honestly just kind of slow, a little slow-paced, and boring. So I wouldn't recommend this one. I mean, if you're a Nicolas Cage fan, sure, you'll probably enjoy just seeing him on screen, because I just enjoyed seeing him on screen, so if you like Nicolas Cage, probably watch it, but I really wouldn't recommend it on, like, a movie basis. Okay, so Willy's Wonderland came out in 2021. Number 16 is a movie called Possessor. This movie came out in 2020. I gave this movie a 2 stars on Letterboxd. It is kind of interesting. The premise was interesting to me, but the movie is just a little slow-paced. It's kind of like a trippy movie. Some of the, like, visuals and stuff like that, and just the premise, this lady, she gets into this machine, and she invades other people's minds and commits hired murders. I don't know if it's, like, for the government or for some government agency, but she works for an agency, and she kills people in other people's bodies, and then she comes back. Her girl that is, like, her manager is training her to be her replacement. So she gets put into this guy's body, and she's, like, just hanging out in his body. I can't remember if she hangs out in his body for too long or something, but she has to kill, like, these few people, these rich people, and this girl and stuff. So she picks the girl's, like, husband's body to be close and kill him. In the girl's body, you can tell, like, there was some stuff off with her family. Like, you can tell she didn't enjoy having sex with her husband. As soon as she got home, she wanted to leave again. You could tell she was just uncomfortable with human intimacy, human interaction. You could just tell she wasn't made for it. So, in the end, the lady, her manager, gets into her kid's body and stabs the mom, so the mom is forced to kill her own son, and then when they wake up side to side, and she sees that the manager had made the final decision for her to be with the agency instead of her family, which is kind of something she wanted through the movie, so it's kind of like a sad ending for the boy and the dad, but it's also a happy ending for the lady, I think, because I think that's what she wants. It's a little bit confusing. It's got more of like an artistic visual style. It's not bad. I just probably wouldn't watch it again. It's just not that entertaining. Like, the story's good, although a little convoluted, or just maybe the way it's shot makes it kind of feel a little convoluted, but, yeah, the premise and stuff is cool. I just probably wouldn't watch it again. Number 15 is a movie called Event Horizon. Event Horizon came out in 1997, so this is more of like a classic movie. It's about this spaceship, and these people, like, enter, like, a black hole or something, or they enter, like, the hell portal, or the ship itself is, like, hell in a ship, or, like, the ship itself has a portal to hell in it, so they experience, like, a bunch of, like, just really bad shit. Everybody, like, mostly everybody gets tortured. I think one person gets, like, shot out into space, which is really, really terrifying. I'm terrified of space. I've actually had nightmares where I've been, like, in open, like, little cylinders floating through space, trying to hold onto the wall and not get sucked out. So I'm terrified of space. But I've heard that a lot of this movie was, like, cut out and lost or something, so that just dampens the experience. People say, like, I guess for the time it was a lot of horror, but there's, like, not a lot of horror shown. Like, there's one scene where there's a lot of horror shown, but it's, like, 5 seconds of a flash. I wish they would have, even though the time didn't allow it, I wish they would have just still released, like, the whole movie or something, or just released it and let it not be in theaters. I guess that matters with studios to make their money, but we need to dismantle the MPAA, the Motion Pictures Association of America. They're so stupid. Movies don't need to be rated. Any movie you want to see, you should be able to view. The MPAA should just get rid of itself. We don't need you. Nobody wants you, and nobody loves you.
Just jerk it off. There you go. Nigga, kill yourself.
That's all I have to say about that, but yeah, so it's good. I just wish we could see the actual story. I wish it wasn't so jumbled. It's a bunch of scenes of basically nothing. There's no character development. All that was cut out. So, I kind of recommend watching it, but it's just going to leave you wishing there was more. It's just going to leave you, like, mad and angry that the MPAA or whatever thought they could tell somebody what to take out of their movie. Like, I don't know, it just blows my mind that people are so hell-bent on controlling every last little drop of other people that they can't even release a movie that they made themselves. It's disgusting, but yeah, I gave that one 4 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd. I just wish that we would have got the full movie, or we could have seen every part of the movie. We got the Code Red Mountain Dew. Why is Code Red Mountain Dew hard to find? Who's taking my Code Red Mountain Dew away from me?
As soon as we find out who you are, trust you will be dealt with. Period. Period.
It's very much not appreciated. Number 14 is The Ring 2. This movie came out in 2005. This is a horror mystery movie. Okay, so it's not as good as the first one, although it does, like, probably one of the best jobs at incorporating the first and the second movie, because it literally picks up, it has the same mom, the same little boy, the same ring girl, mostly the same characters, except the ones that died in the first, obviously. It does a, really good job of, like, continuity and stuff, I think. And at first I thought it was confusing. Like, there's one scene where Samara is able to control these, like, deer. But that actually, and I thought that was like, well, how is she controlling the deer? But it actually makes sense because she is able, like, she was born evil or something. She was born with, like, psychic powers. So she was able to control horses, when she was free, and then in The Ring 2, in the first one, they set her free, and that's, like, the plot twist. They weren't supposed, like, one of the things was they weren't, the late Rachel wasn't supposed to help her out of the well, but she did, so now she's free. So I guess her being free allowed her to do that. And then there was also a thing where, like, her as a baby, the mom was trying to kill her as a baby, and then she, like, tried to drown her in this, like, nunnery, but the nuns saved her. I heard somebody, like, a video I watched about this, say that maybe that was, like, not continuity. I'm actually not sure. I think it maybe makes sense, because I think Samara from the first one was adopted. But honestly, the first time I saw The Ring, or the way I was introduced to The Ring for the first time was through Scary Movie 3. And Cindy's like, so you adopted. So I always think about that when she's talking to the guy in the well, or the guy in the lighthouse. She's like, so you adopted. I'm pretty sure that still makes sense. But I enjoy it for what it is. It's got some cool visuals with some water. There's a little bit more character development between the mother and son. I like how Samara tries to take over the little boy's body. It's very, very interesting, and I do recommend it. If you've seen the first one, you might as well go ahead and watch The Ring 2. I gave this one, it says I gave it 2 stars on Letterboxd. Thinking about it, I liked it more than that, but maybe it was a little boring. It might have been a little boring because the first one was just a tad slow-paced and grayscale, so. Number 13 is a movie called Last Straw. This movie is from 2023. This is a horror drama movie. This movie is really good. I like the actress. Her name is Nancy Osborne. I really liked her performance in it. I just really liked her character. I like how she acted. I just really enjoyed her character, and I don't know if I've seen her in anything else, but I'll be glad to see her in more movies, coming out. That would be nice. And I like the story, too. She goes to, like, fire this guy, and he's, like, real mad, and then, obviously, because if you get fired, you're basically dead in this economy. Later that night, the place gets attacked, and it's like, who's doing this? Help me, help me. It's just a fun little slasher. She, like, fights back, obviously, and it's kind of like her restaurant, like her parents' restaurant, so she, like, knows everything about the restaurant. I've only seen it once. I don't remember too well the ending, but, I believe she's okay at the end, but I really enjoyed watching this movie. It's set in a little dusty, hot area. Sometimes I get uncomfortable with the settings if they look too hot, just because I can't really do heat. So it does have a little bit of an uncomfortable, dusty setting, but the story's really good, and I really, really liked all the performances and the characters. Oh, and I gave this one a 4.5 on Letterboxd. 4.5 stars. Okay, so number 12 is a Monster High movie. It is Escape from Skull Shores from 2012. This is a family adventure movie. Again, I think I said this in my last video. I'm just going through all the Monster High movies. I may or may not have watched them as a child, but I don't remember. I was always more into the dolls than, the movies, and plus as a kid I was mostly just watching like Snapped and Women Who Kill, just anything on the Investigation Discovery Channel or the cooking show. That was what I was obsessed with as a kid. I never really watched any of the movies back then, or if I did, I don't really remember. But I enjoyed this movie. I gave this movie I give this movie a 5 stars out of 5 stars. It's just really nostalgic. I love the dolls. I love seeing my dolls' like personalities on the screen. I love seeing them like interact with each other. And it's just mostly nostalgic for me. It reminds me of like a little part of childhood that didn't involve impending dread, you know? It just makes me think about those times. So I just really like the Monster High movie. It has a pretty good villain, I think. He wants to like kill the girls. He's like a little weirdo, but I like he like commands the Kraken or something. I like that. Or no, Gil goes to get the Kraken and, like, saves everybody. I like the Kraken, yeah. But the guy's funny looking, and the guy, Andy, the manster, he's, like, one of the hottest mansters Monster High's ever come out with. I wish they made a doll of him. He's really hot, he's barefoot, and he lives in the woods, and he has horns, so what more could a woman want?
Cut. No. Like this.
Number 11 is a movie called Mayhem. This movie came out in 2017. This stars Stephen Yeun and Samara Weaving. I really like both of their characters. This movie, I was looking at movies like the Belko Experiment, and this one popped up. I like the premise for this one a little bit more than the Belko Experiment, but I think I enjoyed watching the Belko Experiment a little more than this one. I think maybe I enjoyed the Belko Experiment a little bit more, just because I guess there's more of a emphasis on the characters' relationship in this one, which isn't a bad thing. It doesn't really increase the stakes for me, really. I was always hoping, I guess just for Samara to get out, but I like the infection point instead of people telling you over the intercom, like, just kill people. I like that they get infected and they turn angry. Oh yeah, that's another reason, the sex scene is kind of justified in this movie, which, some movies don't have it justified, but it is pretty justified because, their anger and just their primal urges get turned up. So anytime your primal urges get turned up, you're gonna want to fuck, eat, or kill. Those are the three, basic, ingrained, natural emotions. So, they do all three. They fuck, hopefully they eat. I hope they eat. I couldn't fight and kill people on an empty stomach. You gotta fuel up before you do that. But they definitely kill. I think Samara has a nail gun, which is a really fun weapon that would cause probably a lot of extended pain. You could probably last that out for a little while. And she hurts her boss or some lady that was being a bitch, denying loans because she's a greedy ass rich person. I give that one 3 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so number 10 is a movie called Malignant. This movie came out in 2021. This movie, I guess they were writing one of the Terrifier movies at the same time as they were writing this one, but this movie came out first. They were both going to use a back of the head reveal, but this one came out first, so they had to change it. Nobody copied anybody. They just, great minds think alike, so I really like that. It is pretty unique. It was a little gimmicky, but I've heard people refer to it as camp, and yeah, the movie is camp because it is a good movie, but there are certain things about it that are a little ridiculous. Some of the shots are a little ridiculous. So the acting itself is not over top, but it goes with it. It's not over the top when it shouldn't be. It goes with the movie. The movie's kind of over the top. It has a crazy premise. This girl, she has a twin in the back of her skull, and it contorts her limbs and makes her run backwards, so you're laughing the whole time you're watching this movie. It's kind of like a comedy. It's like a horror comedy movie, almost. And then he's eating her fetuses out of her body? How does that even happen? I do really like the movie. I like the metaphor for the movie, overcoming your inner demons and, the bad things about you, overcoming them, to keep the ones around you safe and keep yourself happy. It does a really fun twist on the adoption reveal, because the sibling that is adopted reveals to the sibling that they are adopted, instead of the other way around. The adopted person knows they're adopted. It's the others in the family who don't, so it does that. It's a really fun twist, and I really, really like the relationship between the two sisters. I think you can tell how much they love each other. The main character's a little not ditzy, but a little, like, brain fogged. And I think I think that's good acting, though, because, like, you know, she just lost a kid, her husband was abusing her, so she probably is just a little numb and zombified. But she, like, wakes up as the movie goes on. It gets more and more, like, energetic, you know, I guess you could say, more personality driven. I do recommend this movie. I give this one a 3 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd. It is just a little campy. I went into it expecting like a scary, more like a truer horror movie, but yeah, I laughed a lot more than I figured I should, but I really enjoyed it, and I do recommend watching it. Okay, so number 9 is a movie called Influencer. This movie came out in 2022. I really like the premise of this movie. I really like the spoiler at the end. You go the whole movie thinking one thing, but it's revealed at the end that it's actually the opposite. Or not the opposite, but it's actually like, it's just not what you were expecting. It's not what the main character was expecting. I like how treacherous and deceiving the main character is. I like how sneaky and all the things that she does. I mean, it is a good, like, PSA for traveling. Like, you really can't trust other human beings. You really can't, you really can't, for lack of a better words, let yourself get into these situations. You know, you really got to stay on top of the ball, keep yourself safe, always be looking out 24/7 for your back. And this movie just, I like that it shows you that. And I like all the characters. I like how it's mostly women. There's one guy, he kind of seems like an asshole, but, if my boyfriend flew, granted they're rich, so he's able to fly across the country to look for his girlfriend, but, that is a pretty good thing, flying across the country to look for your girlfriend, because you know the police won't do anything. I gave this one a 3 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd as well. Number 8 is a movie called Barbarian. This movie came out in 2022. This movie also stars Bill Skarsgård and Georgina Campbell. She plays the main girl, and Justin Long as well. So yeah, I really liked all the acting. The main girl, she goes through like so much, and Justin's Long.
I beg your pardon? I beg your pardon?
What do you mean by that?
Justin Long's character is such an asshole. He puts her through so much when she's already been through so much in the beginning. So I really like the ending, how she's, at least able to walk away, even though she's really injured and been through a fuck ton of shit. I'm just glad she's able to walk away. You kind of feel sympathy for the mama character, because she's technically not doing anything wrong. She thinks she's taking care of her children. She doesn't know that it's shown that she doesn't understand what she's, like, how she's hurting her babies. Justin Long plays this asshole who, one of his co-workers, like, when you first meet him, the first conversation he's having with his director or his employee is, hey, we're firing you because, you're a liability. Even if we don't believe her or whatever, we're still, like, your liability, whatever. He gets fired. He's mad about it. He goes to the house that Tessa and Bill Skarsgård were at, and he finds that, Bill's been killed. Tessa's there, obviously, the mom comes out. I like this movie. We need more African-American final girls, and final boys, too. There's always room for final boys. Justin Long, I don't know, I like his lovable characters, but he's also really, really good at playing an asshole. And then Bill Skarsgård's he's not like an asshole, but maybe a regular dude. Like, he doesn't really understand. Well, maybe he does, because he waits to open the wine bottle until she gets out. I don't know, maybe he doesn't really understand, like, how anything he does will seem creepy, just because, like, from a woman's perspective, like, you really have to be on your toes. But it is really sad. They develop, like, a really sweet relationship. I liked their relationship. They both had a lot of chemistry together that I thought. It shows them, like, a little montage of them hanging out and getting familiar with each other. And I just feel so bad for Tessa that then he dies. The one guy that treated her good in the movie, doesn't even get to end up with her, or end up at least alive with her, so that really sucks. But I did like this movie. It was a lot better than I expected. I expected it to be just, less interesting with the premise. There's a monster in my Airbnb. Like, I didn't care about that. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd. Okay, so number 7 is a movie called Getaway. This movie actually came out in 2024. So this movie stars the guy who's always with the guy who's in the Shaun of the Dead films, Nick Frost. So it stars him, and He has these 3 people in his family. They're going to this weird island for vacation, and they go to this island. Apparently the island tries to kill people, but then it's revealed that they are actually the serial killers, and they turn all the tropes around and they start killing the village. It's a really, really interesting movie. I really honestly recommend it. It is a tad slow, I will say, like, especially the first part is a tad slow, but once the reveal of the family becoming, or once the reveal of that the family is actually the threat in the movie, once that is revealed, the whole movie picks up, and from then on, it's actually really interesting. And it's interesting too in the first part, because you're like, why are these stupid people ignoring all the locals? You know, the locals are trying to tell them, like, hey, don't go there this time, and they're just ignoring them, like, no, we'd like to go, we love it. So they just ignore them. Apparently they do this like every year for vacation. It's crazy. So I gave that one a 5 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd. Number 6 is a movie called Bad Teacher. This movie came out in 2011. It says it's a comedy drama. Now, I'm specifically talking about the true version of this movie. So the first few times I saw this movie, I did not see the original movie, and I did not know that it was not the original movie. But there's 2 versions of this movie, and you have to find I don't know what it's rated, but the rated R or the full version of this movie. Please, I implore you, if you're going to watch this movie, it's honestly, I don't know if it's worth it to watch the one with, because with the stuff cut out, it still makes sense with the stuff cut out, but with the stuff left in, with, like, more cussing, more, I don't know if there's more nudity, but I'm just gonna say it, more nudity, just more unrated stuff, more adult. Sorry, my hair is so flat all the time. With more adult, like, situations and stuff, I don't know why movies have to have 2 versions. Like, just release the whole movie. I hate it. It happened with, Walk Hard, the story of Dewey Cox, or the Dewey Cox story. It did that with that movie. For the first few years of my life, I was watching the non-full version, and then one time I watched with my brother the full version, and I'm like, what? There's so much stuff that was cut out. So I hate it when movies do that. So you have to find the full version. It's just a great movie. I love Cameron Diaz. She's so funny, and she plays like just a normal person at their job. Like, you know, everybody hates their job. I've never understood how I can see teachers like happy at school. Like, how do you like your job? Like, just because you're making money, like, your job still sucks. You have to get up early every morning. So yeah, she's like a normal person. She actually hates her job. She's actually miserable at her job. I mean, and you can see why. She has to deal with a bunch of annoying kids and a bunch of, like, uppity coworkers. There's this one girl, Amy Squirrel. I really like the actress, but she's a cunt. She's like a condescending cunt. And Justin Timberlake is in the movie, and he plays kind of like a dumb asshole, which in real life he's a dumb asshole anyways, I've heard. We believe Britney. But yeah, he's in the movie too, and Cameron Diaz is trying to vie for him, but she doesn't get with him in the end, which is good. But yeah, I think everybody should watch this movie. It's honestly so funny, and I just like seeing a teacher be a normal person instead of a, hi kids, you know, robot. I gave this one a 5 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd. That was the first rewatch of the month. I've seen this movie. I probably saw it when it came out. I remember watching it as a kid for a family movie night. So it's just a really, really good movie, and I definitely recommend it, but you have to watch the full version. Okay, so number 5 is A Haunted House. This movie came out in 2013. This was, I believe, written and directed by Marlon Wayans. He's so funny in the movie. He's in the movie. He's the main character in the movie. It's basically making fun of Paranormal Activity. I always hated the Paranormal Activity movies. I thought they were so stupid. It's so boring just to hear pots and pans bust around, like, I don't know. It's just not scary. It was really boring. I never cared about any of the ghosts or the girl selling her soul. So this movie's like, if you've never seen the Haunted House movies, whatever they are, Paranormal Activity, I would just watch this movie, A Haunted House 1 and A Haunted House 2. They're just so funny. I love all the characters. There's just so many funny bits. Yeah, I just recommend this one. This one is a must-watch. This is also another rewatch. It's just such a great movie, and I wish there was a third one. I wish we could still keep getting, like, the Wayans brothers making movies, because they're like the kings basically of like comedy, especially for like my generation. I grew up watching scary movie, like that shaped my personality, so they're like the kings of like parody movie writing to me, and I hope like, before they die, we get just, like, I don't know, some more really good parody movies from them, or just some really good, really funny movies from them again. Number 4 is a 2012 movie called Excision. This movie was actually really, really interesting. It has a really kind of like feral girl main character. She's very, very relatable. She's the black sheep in the family, the odd one out, which I can relate to. I've always been the black sheep. I've always been the odd one out amongst peers, class members, general public, other human beings living around. You know, I've always been the outcast. So I can really relate with the main character, and she has these like surgical sexual delusions, which I can understand, like, especially the, like, blood kink and everything. Blood is such, like, an intimate thing. I'm not going to spoil the movie too much, because I do think everyone should watch this. It has famous actors in it. I think she's pretty famous. I think she was in, like, Pretty Little Liars or something. The Modern Family? I'm not sure, but one of the characters is pretty famous, but yeah. Oh, and one of the Tracy Lords is the mom. That's, like, all the excuse you need to watch the movie. Tracy Lords is the mom. She's great. I love her and Zack and Miri make that's one of my favorite movies ever. But yeah, it's just a really, really good movie, and the boy who played Peter Pan's in it too. I'm not going to spoil much more about it. I actually watched this one live on TikTok, so you should follow me on TikTok, General Cadaver. Sometimes I go live and watch movies with you guys. I give this one a 4 out of 5 stars, and I definitely recommend you watch it. Suck cock! Number 3 is a movie called The Blackening from 2022. This movie is so funny. I love all the characters. I love all the character dynamics. One thing about the movie is, like, pretty obvious. You can, like, kind of tell who the perpetrator is going to be, which isn't, like, a really bad problem of the movie. It didn't take me out of the movie. It didn't, like, take away from the watching experience, but I thought I just would mention it, that the perpetrator is pretty obvious. But I love all the character dynamics. They're so funny together. It just seems like a group of friends who, like, really just been friends all their lives. I think they've been friends all their lives, or since, like, college or something. I can't remember exactly, but it's really good, really, really good movie. There's, like, this really racist board game that they have to play, which I think the perpetrator set the whole thing up, but that I was just kind of stunned seeing that. But it is a really good movie. All the dynamics are great, and I do really recommend this one. It's not super scary, like, it's not, like, gory or gonna make you, like, you know, shut all your curtains and peep out your windows, but it's just a really, really entertaining movie.
Open it, that's if you just did you try pushing? I think you should push it. Just jerk it off, there you go. Nigga, kill yourself.
I gave that one 4 stars out of 5 on Letterboxd. Number 2 is a movie called The Faculty. This movie is from 1998. This is another rewatch of the month. I've seen this movie quite a few times. I really, really enjoy it. It has the Liquid Terminator in it. It also has Frodo, and it also has... It has some really cute guy who was in... I think he was in Trap. I never saw Trap. I heard it was stupid. I wanted to see it, but I heard it was stupid. But yeah, it has him. It has a whole bunch of people in it. The girl from Dusk Till Dawn, who dances with the snake. It just has a bunch of good actors in it, and I love how, like, school looked in the 90s, how everything was just kind of, like, normal and loose, like, there was less restrictions and stuff. Like, it just seems like so much easier. I like all the costuming. I like the alien. There's, like, an alien comes in and perpetrates the school. I really, really like the reveal. I like how they defeat the alien. I like all the talk. I love the goth girl. I believe her name is Stokely. I always love to see a goth girl in a movie. And I love her relationship with the, like, football guy. They kind of, like, banter back and forth. You can kind of tell that they have a crush on each other, but they're trying to, like, not like each other. Oh, like, a little bit, because that's what they're supposed to do, in a way. You know? Like, goth chicks and footballers don't get together, I guess. I don't know. I never had any friends in high school, so I never really had a clique or whatever. I love all the characters. I love the reveal. Just everything about this movie is just so funny. And I believe one of the boys, one of the actors in the movie is the long-haired boy from Dazed and Confused, like the main character in Dazed and Confused. I don't know his name, but his face seemed really familiar. I give this one a 5 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd. I love this movie. I watch it from time to time, probably a few times a year. It's just such a good alien movie, such a classic, like, teenage movie. I love it so much.
Fuck that, man. You're taking it.
You're taking it.
Now what the hell's wrong with him?
The number one movie.
Nothing's
that I
wrong with him, you
watched
asshole.
in
He's tweaking. Let him
2025,
fucking
this
tweak.
movie I watched this year. And a movie that I'm really, really excited to watch again is Companion from 2025. This actually came out in January 2025. This movie is so awesome. I love Iris. I love the gay couple. I love the commentary that is like represented. I mean, you can see that their relationship is a little healthier, which I believe tends to be the case. I don't know, maybe. But it's just a really, really good premise. I love the two gay guys in it. Their relationship is so cute. Jack and Quaid is the chubby one. He's in a lot of stuff, and I really, really like a similar character. The character that he played in Scream 5, just kind of like this asshole boyfriend. But it is really, really good. I'm not gonna spoil anything else about the movie because it literally just came out 2 months ago. So, all I will say else about the movie is that it's not too gory. I will say that it's not very gory at all, but it's great. It's a very, very good movie. I think I really, really love it. I love especially every girl. I love the middle. I love the beginning. I love the narration. I love the narration. I love the casting choice. Sophie Thatcher is she's so beautiful and so ethereal. Like, I understand why they casted her, how they casted her, because, would. Totally, absolutely, 100% would. She's so gorgeous. She's just absolutely beautiful in this movie. Kind of treated bad a little bit throughout the movie. She seems so soft. It's kind of treated bad a little bit throughout the movie. I give this one a 5 out of 5 stars. Exactly treated the best. 100%. Okay, that is the end of this video. I want to thank you for watching. Thank you to everybody who stayed until the end. I like this video and subscribe to this channel so I can eventually feed my family. Just see my life and stay tuned. See me, see what I do. I like to share. Patreon, my Macari, my Depop. Please follow me on all my social medias: Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, Threads. I have Reddit. Everything should be General Cadaver or Juicebox for Vamps. General Cadaver or Juicebox for Vamps.